So, Sarah, the question to you is, how do you think interior and architecture can contribute to adapt to the new way of living in general? How do you
Can
think
adapt to a new way of
living? How do you think our field can contribute to adapt to the new way of living when we talk about the future of design?
I think we've already covered that. I think, we've spoken about the different spaces, like multi-use spaces, focusing on doing things that are not wasteful. And I think just looking towards the future where people are going to want something that has a little bit of outdoors, a little bit of indoors,
Yes.
more space and digital connectivity. I think that's really where we're going to be at.
Okay.
So I
Good.
think projects like what Gopal is talking about are really
Yes.
the future, where there's going to be many, many projects towards the outskirts of the city, 1 hour, 1.5 hours away.
Yes.
And many people are going to be okay to commute and live a better quality of life in a larger, slightly less polluted, greener space, and come in for your meetings once or twice a week. I think even for Bombay people, that's what's happening in Alibag, right? I mean, there's a huge exodus of people moving into Alibag because it's just a one boat ride across for people, so it's very very easy.
Yes.
I think Shona has set the bar, with her
Really
her
has.
home and her life and her lifestyle. And I mean, I think uh, for me, she's like the ideal work life balance,
Yeah,
that she needed
yeah.
for designers. I think she's
And
done a
also, she
great
has such
job.
a connect to nature with her kids, and she's just,
Yeah.
she's doing
Absolutely.
it all. She has a successful practice.
Correct.
This is Shona and Trehan Puri. She has a successful practice. She does fantastic design, and she's living a very balanced life. So yeah, I think I agree. She's really set the tone. I think actually even like someone like a Pinakin who 20 years ago decided to move to Alibag, at
True.
which point
That was
everyone was
very
like,
courageous. Yeah.
yeah, and when
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
told them, like, people must have thought you'd lost the plot 20
Hmm.
years ago that you said that I'm going to move to Alibag. And I remember we have a common friend, Shinali, who worked with him, and maybe 10, 12 years ago, and she used to go in between Alibag and Bombay. And I was like, what is going on? Like, what is this weird job and this
Yeah.
like weird lifestyle of living in this village of Alibag? Why can't you just be in Bombay like a normal person? But these are the guys that really had the
Yeah.
vision that this is the better
True.
life.
Yeah.
And now we are all seeing that vision and trying to buy into it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Gopal, I have a question for you. That with the kind of practice that you have for luxury interiors, so do you think the definition of luxury and opulence in interiors will be redefined now? Do you think it will be redefined?
See, so there are two things. One is aesthetics and one is the comfort, So when it comes to aesthetics, primarily the luxury has its own, I'll say ingredients or own, mediums to achieve that. And I do not see changing those things. But certainly when it comes to the technical part of it or trying to make the house more future centric or more automation and all these things, yes, they are always going to evolve, and whatever the best things are there, the kind of clients again, whom I cater to, they are always looking forward to something best in available in the particular segment. Okay, whether it is lighting or automation or air conditioning, again, all which are I say considered to be more sustainable. But then yes, they are doing all those things, and yes, to some extent, there's going to be some changes, but not major. I don't see any major changes in that.
Okay. And Sarah, Shivani, and Huzefa, your designing sense has been more on the minimal side and more clear lines into this one. So do you see that simple lifestyle, minimal interior spaces will be more integrated spaces as the future in the future? Do you think that that will be the need, the minimal spaces, like Josefa mentioned about essentialism? Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, our design style is completely confused, by the way. We don't do minimal, we don't do maximalism, we do anything and everything under the sun. So,
Yeah.
so I'll be the worst
In terms
person
of
to answer this
aesthetic,
question.
in terms of aesthetic, I would say that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we did try two homes where we absolutely like did like bare bone minimal interiors, and but I mean, I guess, like I said earlier, I think when it comes to a project, there is a certain role reversal over here where with the client giving their briefs, we are sort of telling, we are now very, very, strongly encouraging them and educating them in terms of what they need and what they don't need. I think that's basically, I think when you talk about minimalism also, right? I mean, there are many factors that are associated with that. I don't know if you want to just elaborate on that. Maybe I'll be able to answer better. But as of now, yeah, this is what I have.
No, but I mean, I see what you're saying, Huzefa. I feel like uh, for us as well, like, a lot of our design comes from the client in terms of their brief and what they have, what they have to do for the space. Having said that, I feel like, just for us, I mean, our conversations of minimalism with clients start with, you don't need so much storage. It's that fundamental as you don't need a lot of storage in every passage that's empty. So that conversation has started, and somewhere I feel like, when a client comes to you, they've seen your work and they know that you don't do a certain kind of interior, and that kind of works together in tandem. But again, it's a very, very initial conversation. We're still working towards client briefs and client needs and requirements. We have small homes in Bombay. They're not large, massive homes that you can sort of experiment with, styles like minimalism to its full potential. But yes, in whatever small way we can, the endeavor is to create a space that looks somewhere in that, in the whole larger scheme of minimalism. Yeah.
No, and definitely, I mean, I think the everyone now really wants spaces which are clutter free. I mean, they
Yeah.
know that it's been difficult to
Correct.
have help at home, right? So
Yes.
they don't
The
want to
last
end up
one.
cleaning too many
True.
areas, right? So what's in
True.
front of you is what you need, correct? So I
Yeah.
think that's something that everyone's really clear about. Maintenance free home chahiye. I
That's
mean,
true. That
that's
is
the brief that
Yeah.
is like I think that's like the underlying brief from
Yeah.
all clients. So which is very good. I mean, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Sarah?
Yeah, I mean, I just really agree with what Shivani and Huzefa said. I think they covered all the points.
Okay. So, with all that conversation, I'm heading to my next and the last question, which is for Sarah. And I'm sure a lot of people following you on social media would like to know it. So, you have taken social media by your storm, we all know that. And the love and appreciation that you have received from the viewers is very evident. You've been talking and sharing experiences, and it would be apt to say that you, in true sense, have the right influence over the audience, especially the youth. Do you think that comes with the responsibility to set an example for the coming generation of designers?
It probably does come with a responsibility, but I don't take any responsibility for anything. I'm just happy that that people are listening to what I have to say and that they appreciate my voice. And that's really all. I think I'm just going to speak my truth and leave it at that because I think if I start thinking about the responsibility or the larger ramifications, I think it may cloud or impact my usual candor and candidness, which I think what makes me myself. So I think I just want to continue to be honest and speak about my experiences and be open and honest about all the things that I've done right and wrong. And I think that the one thing that my social media has done is highlight how collaborative our industry is. But I've only
Yes.
done that on social media. The industry actually is like that in real, and it has been like that for a long time. So I think
Yes.
there's maybe a perception that people are not nice to each other, or everyone is kind of like really mean and like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person. But the reality is that we're all very happy
You're
to
all
help
friends,
each
yeah.
other and to be there for each other. And so I think just really saying something as simple as that out there on a public platform made people surprised, be like, what, you all help each other? Like literally that's what I get every day. Like, oh, but how come you all are so normal and helpful, and how come like you interact with this design and that design? And I'm like, but so I think maybe there's like a misconception, and so it's nice that people from a younger generation are all taking that cue. I think things were very different in the older generations where there was
Yes.
few clients doing high end work and only 3 or 4 big designers. Now there's
Yes.
all of us. I mean, apart from Shivani, Huzefa, Gopal, and myself, there's like 400 other designers that are probably doing work as good, if not better, than what the 4 of us are doing. and there's still no competition in the industry because there's so much work. We can
Yeah.
all do our
Correct.
own thing
Yes.
uh, in our own spaces and all be very secure. So I think that old style of insecurity and like I don't want to share my contacts and I don't want to share any of that.
Yes.
I think that changing has been really positive and really good, and it has changed anyway on its own, and
Yes.
it has become like that. And I've just shared kind of my experiences from that, and I've seen what Shivani, Huzefa, Gopal are doing on Instagram as well, and everyone's doing their own
Yes.
bit to share and help and to just make a community feel a little bit more supportive. And I think the other big problem is that as students, our educations are quite. How do I put this in a not mean way? Well, lacking for
Yeah.
certain things. So when you hit the real world, you realize how much stuff you don't know, and then you just feel like you're drowning because you're like, oh shit! Like in college, I learned all this stuff, and now the real life is like so different. So I think I definitely had that experience. So really, all I'm trying to do, or all of us are trying to do, is just make that reality a little less harsh and just help whoever is able to be around. Yeah.
No, but I have to just say one thing that I love the way Tara is so authentic on social media. I think it just gives it's inspiring because I feel like in a world where there's so much projection and there's so much of all this perfect pictures happening. I feel like we need an authentic voice, and I'm so glad that she's doing that because it encourages not just us who are peers, but I think the next generation of designers who will not feel the need to be fakely perfect. You don't have to be that. You can be amazing at what you do and still make all the mistakes and still be your authentic true self. So I really love Sarah for doing that. Truly,
Thank
I
you,
do.
Yeah, I
Shivani.
think
That's
she
very
did
nice.
post something about making a mistake. If I'm not
Yeah.
wrong, the post that she had posted about making a mistake and accepting it. So I think
Yeah,
that
I mean,
is
we all
very
do.
important. Yes. I think
True.
apart from the institutional education and learning that we get in our course, it's important to even, look up to designers or, people who are in the industry with their experience. It's a whole set of different learning, I think.